Welcome back, everybody, to the Meet the Bus podcast. This is episode 8, and I am your host, Jeffrey Reckes. And for today, we're in a very unique position again. Same as last week, we got 3 people on the pod, but this time we're in person. This is the first ever in-person Meet the Bus interview. This has been, 2 months in the making? Ever since the show started, I was like, need these 2 guys on, need to do the episode in person, because we all went to school together. Who I'll announce first, I guess, right here on my left. You only marched Spirit of Atlanta 2018, right? Mm-hmm. Spirit of Atlanta 2018 on the euphonium, the little euphonium, little callback to Dylan Ryder's episode. He teaches at Lewisburg Middle School. Ladies and gentlemen, Nathan Hargis, welcome onto the show.
Hello.
Welcome on. And his next guest, he marched Spirit of Atlanta on mellophone from 2017 to 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, David Seanor. Welcome onto the podcast, good sir. How y'all doing today?
Great.
I feel like this is gonna be really silly for a lot of the episode. Just like having this, like my hand is the table, and I'm like, so, how are you guys doing? What's been going on, man? How y'all been doing? David, it's been a while since I've seen you. You've been
a long time.
You've been out and about. How have all the things been?
Been fine.
Absolutely.
Rocking and rolling.
I just gotta say thank you to Grant. We're currently at Grant's place right now, and just gotta, if you want to make a little, just a hello. He makes all the thumbnails for the videos. He's the guy I shout out. Shout out to Grant for this setup right now, because I think I'm just gonna record here from now on, because the lights, the video, it's perfect. It's almost too good. It's too good. Let's jump into some drum corps talk. Let's get right into it. So I guess first, for the both of you, we ask this for every guest that comes on the show, but what inspired you guys to pick up your instruments that you did?
I know that my family was all in band growing up. My mom played flute. My aunts played clarinets, things like that. My oldest sister she was a year ahead of me. She got into band and played the saxophone.
Oh, there we go. We got a saxophone. reference.
So when I got to band, I said the last thing I wanted to play was saxophone. Because I heard all the beginning squawks and squeaks of the saxophone. I said, I'm not doing
Gross.
that. So
disgusting.
I wanted to do drums first because I thought that was fun.
Ooh, okay.
I'd been playing drums on like Guitar Hero and like Rock Band and things like that. I was like, I could do it.
Easy.
I didn't have the hand coordination for it.
Yeah.
So I said, I want to play trombone because I think it's funny.
And, a little womp womp.
And so I've been playing trombone ever since.
And that's been the gig.
That's it.
David, what about you?
Both my parents are band directors, so
yeah. Was it anything that like drew you to? You were like a horn player always, or like was it anything before? Or?
I picked trombone, and then
trombone.
They picked French horn for me,
and then they're like, "Nah, you're gonna take horn today." I got you. So for both of you guys, getting through the band part, what inspired you to get into drum corps, marching band in general? What got you into that?
Well, I found out about drum corps my freshman year. I went to Elizabethton High School in Northeast Tennessee, and
shout out.
The seniors there were freaking out about drum. That was like 2013 at the time, and so they were showing me like Crown and Phantom and all that stuff.
Yeah, I
was like, this is cool. It took me a little bit, but I think probably like 2015, 2016, I like found out about like the Blue Coats, and I was like, I gotta do
Great
this.
time to find out about
this. Is where I gotta go. Yeah, I gotta do this.
Yeah. Actually, quick question about that. Okay, 15 or 16? Which is the better show from
15.
Blue Coats? 15? There you go. The right choice. The right choice at the end of the day. David, what about you?
I saw an Atlanta CV rehearsal one time, and then I was like, I want to do something like that.
What was like, David, you said for you was like a Atlanta CV rehearsal. Yep. Nathan, for you, like, what was the moment that you were like, I need to do that right there?
The first DCI show I went to was in 2015.
Okay.
And got to see like Inferno and Kinetic Noise.
Yes.
And that was really the moment.
Oh yeah.
I was like, I gotta do this.
Absolutely. 100%. From that, do you guys have any like funny, silly little like first audition stories where it's just like young wee lad coming in the audition room and you just like flop? Or like, you know what I'm saying? Where'd you guys audition first, by the way? I should have asked that first.
Spirit?
Yeah. Just like hometown thing, just like right down the street. It's just like, this is the...
I didn't know a lot about DCI.
Oh,
the first show I ever went to was the first show I performed in 2017.
Your parents being band directors, did they ever like, was that a thing where they were like, hey, this whole thing exists, maybe you should go try this out? Or was it kind of just a natural came to you and you're like,
I just had friends in the activity, like teaching, so...
Amazing.
Check it out.
That's awesome, dude. So Nathan, for you, was it the same deal of just like first audition, Spirit, or like were you...
My first core audition for was actually Blue Coats.
Oh, shit.
I actually auditioned for Blue Coats 3 times.
Wow.
And got cut
Like
time.
3 years in a row.
Yeah.
3 times.
Well,
Damn.
I took off in 19. But yeah, I got a call back in 18.
Absolutely.
And then, so 17 was my first year audition. That was like right after high school.
Yeah.
Didn't get it. I was like, okay, I'm going to go to college and try things out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Grow up a little bit.
Yeah.
Tried out for Bluecoats for 18. Got a call back and then got cut.
Yeah.
And then I had met David and he had told me you should come down to a Spirit camp.
Absolutely.
And so I went down, got a contract and marched at Spirit.
Now in 2018,
And
right?
then took off in 19 and then auditioned for Boats in 2020.
You should call them boats.
Yeah, the Boats.
I've literally never heard them called boats before.
So
We're calling them
their-
boats now.
Boats.
On
We're
their
calling boats,
trailer,
boats,
they
boats.
have a door that like perfectly
boats.
lines up with the Bluecoats logo where it covers most of it, so it just says
Oh.
Boats.
Boats. Just a little boats,
Like
actually.
boats.
Just little
But
boats.
didn't make it with them. Decided to go for Crown.
Yeah.
And got an alternate contract. And ended up turning that down because I was doing like HWAM and like conducting 2 and a junior recital.
And that's a whole lot.
Yeah.
Whole lot on
and
the
then COVID happened, so it didn't matter. Bought a bass trombone instead.
COVID killed everything. COVID ruined it all. So for both of you, how old were you when you first left for your first summer?
17.
17?
I was 19.
19? Okay. So like a lot of people that have come on so far have been like some youngins. Like me, we had Austin Berry on, my friend Dylan Wright. Yeah, Austin Berry sucks. He sucks. We'll just get that one out there. Boo. Like one of my C partners, Dylan Ryder, came on. A lot of us like started like super young, 14, 15 years old. So for you guys kind of growing up, growing into your own, what was that like going away for the first time? Like was it a lot easier because you felt more confident just because you're older, or like what were the vibes?
I did scout camps for a while, so
Okay.
it wasn't really that bad. And plus,
So it's like for you
Yeah.
going in, you're already kind of ready for like, because for me being like a little shit 14 years old going in there, I have no idea like what the discipline means yet. Also like the organizational skills that you learn there and just like, you know, time management, all of those things, I had no idea until I got there. So I feel like that is like a big help ahead of time, you know, going into that. Was that kind of how that went?
yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about drum corps, so I kind of went on blind and everything. So
Yeah. Like not knowing anything about it and then coming in, what was your first moment that you're like, oh, this is what this is. This is what this whole thing's about.
probably my first camp, I brought up like a scout backpack.
Yeah.
Because I had no idea how people like brought clothes or anything.
Yes.
And everybody had suitcases. And
Dude, I didn't know how to pack at all. My brother packed my whole thing for me. Yeah, for like 2 years he packed my bags. Swear to God. We had Joey DeShare on, and what he did like at the first camp was like, and like because you need like a black towel for like horn arc and everything, and he deadass just brought like a whole like black beach towel and just like the whole like 15-foot thing and just threw it on the ground. He's like, I have a black towel. So like, did anything like that happen for you guys? Any silly little mistakes like that? I think those are always fun
I know we
stories.
both had air mattresses that popped during tour.
Yeah, dude, that is the worst. Like, what are you supposed to do from there?
Mine, it wasn't just like a small hole. It was like the seam down the middle, like popped up.
Oh,
So it was like sleeping on a hump for a while.
oh, dude, that is the worst.
And it was fun because it was like, I think it happened with both of ours, where it was like a seam would like.
So
pop
like you
in.
wake up in the morning, your like feet are like in the air.
Well, it's like
Just,
you're more like rocking from side to side. Just on a
Dude, that
bubble.
sucks.
Mine like officially busted like around the time we got to Atlanta.
Yeah.
Because I know my mom came down and she actually during like our lunch break she took me to Walmart to like get me a new air mattress.
Oh my God.
But the only thing we could find was like a pool floaty, like a big pizza. They had these ones where like you could like connect them up in a pool, so it's like a giant pizza and a pool. How cute!
So you're the coolest kid out
And I was
there.
like, I'm gonna sleep on this. I'm
Yes.
gonna be a baller. And the thing was like this tall. So you can already see the issues.
Yeah, it's like okay.
Did
well,
not inflate all the way. She ended up going out and getting another mattress.
Oh my
God
goodness.
bless her.
Oh my
But
goodness.
I thought I was gonna be a really cool dude,
Which is like
and I am.
You're
a
still
cool
that dude.
I am a cool dude. Yeah.
You're still that cool dude. You're still that guy. We got into David a little bit. Nathan, for you, what was the moment for you? Because going into your one and only year, what for you was like, oh, like this is what, like you've watched from the outside, you have an understanding of what it is, you've seen the shows. When you got there, what was the moment for you where you were like, oh, this is what this whole thing's gonna be?
I think honestly, like the first camps where like I got like a contract and it's like, hey, you are officially doing this.
Yeah.
That was like the first feeling of like, oh, this is real.
Yeah.
Because it had always been like, I mean, it'd be really cool if I did that. And finally getting a contract and knowing that like I'm going to be here for the summer. and then like moving in for move-ins.
It was like the assignments for me. Once it all started rolling through, and like assignments every single month, and like you get the contract, and then the whole like the off-season programs start, and the workouts and everything. I was like, oh, this is like, okay, here we go. Like every single
I was
week.
super excited about move-ins.
Yeah.
The moving away part wasn't strange for me because I had already moved away for college.
Nice.
Because I had done my first year away from.
Yeah, so you're ready for
like,
that. You're ready to go on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something I want to talk about, I guess we'll talk about it again at some point, because in 2017 they did the Atlanta Regional at, they did it at that one high school in Powder Springs. Super cool place. Got to rehearse there in 2019. Great place. The little Indian dude in the end zone. Fucking have the picture still. Love it. What was it like? It's such a rare opportunity to have your home show and also to get to do an encore at a regional. What was that feeling like for you, knowing that we got like the home show is the regional? What was that like in your rookie year? Especially at Powder Springs, 'cause that's a whole different situation.
It's always a hype. Like, the same with home show, dome show.
Yeah.
We honestly had a lot of home shows, and we usually got to do an encore for most, if not all of them. But the regional was just special because you had so many SOA fans always there, and they always go crazy for it.
Dude, okay, I gotta say, we gotta ask now. I say we're gonna do it later, but in 2018, when the new Atlanta Dome's built, and like I didn't even know you guys actually got to do that, because it was like the whole situation in 2018 was a mess. They didn't have the whole like security thing figured out, like the whole way to get in. Like I don't know if you guys remember, but they had like the dogs at like security clearance going through, like checking everybody's like equipment and horns and stuff.
I remember Dan Atchison was at check-in for us.
Really?
He was like there
Shout
when
out
we were
Dan
like walking
Atchison,
into the dome.
dude.
And she's like, oh hey, there's the dude.
There's the guy that does the things, dude.
Yeah.
I guess what was that like for both of you in 2018 with the Atlanta Dome and everything? Like, what was that experience like for you guys?
Props was terrible.
Yeah.
Like you go down in there and like, it's all over the place. We had to take all those doors.
Yeah, because when I got to do it in 2019 with Blue Knights getting to do the Denver Regional, when I got to do the home show there at Mile High, and like the different experiences we got, I mean, it rained out the show basically. Like it was raining that day, show got rained out. We still got to go do an exhibition, but the cool parts of having your hometown fans be there for you and like feeling the love unlike any other like venue before. And it was super cool. Like they did something, I don't know if they did anything different at the Atlanta Dome at all. I don't know. But like for Mile High, like they'd plug in little like rumbling sounds as like we would like walk on the field, and everyone would start like doing the whole like, kicking their feet against the stands and everything. So like as we're walking on the field and they're doing like a little different like intro for the Blue Knights, it's like the rumbling, like the thunder is starting to happen. It was like a whole cool thing. And then we get to do like eyes afterwards and everything. And it's a whole, I think the year before in 2018, they did a whole thing with alumni.
I think my favorite part of that regional was the encore, though.
That was super cool. I never even knew until I started like doing prep for this interview. I was like, holy shit, they actually got to do, which sounds stupid, but like they got to do the encore at Atlanta, which makes sense. But it's like, it's a regional and there's so much going on during a day and everything is so like slotted by time that it's like, I wouldn't expect an encore to happen at a regional, but that's super cool. That's super cool. So moving forward, David, for 2017, unlike 18 and 19, where you guys are in 13th and you're going for, a final spot. You're going for that 12th, 11th, 10th spot. In 2017, it was like I think you guys finished 18th. Were the vibes more like we're pushing for top 12 at that point in Spirit of Atlanta? Or is it like an educational type of thing? For example, like OC in 16, like we finished like similar kind of spot. Felt very more like educational. We're here to like build up like good mechanics and all that, so you guys can be like successful for the future. What were the vibes in 2017?
I mean, I was a baby, didn't know much, but it wasn't more like we needed to push and do well. We needed to get back into finals. It's just
need to do our best.
Keep the spirit train going.
Absolutely.
It was a good season. Rookie year, a lot of fond memories.
Rookie year things. Speaking of, what is something like you learned about yourself in your rookie year at drum corps?
My hair bleaches in the sunlight.
Because I feel like, because I have like dark brown hair at the end, I'll have like the little like blonde streaks by the end of the summer. Obviously, you get better at like a band thing in life. You obviously do, because at the end of the summer, when you do something for 85 days, you're probably gonna get better at it. One would hope, but Something else for me that I noticed was like I got better at like time management and how I like organize my stuff and just like also just like discipline in my own work. What was one life thing and what was one band thing that you got better at your rookie year?
Band thing, I'd probably say just marching in general.
Absolutely.
Of course, like the fundamentals of marching.
Absolutely.
Life thing, I'm not going to say like, everybody says time management because everybody gets better at that. But,
Yeah, you kind of have to. You're kind of forcing to get better at it.
Kind of exposed to a whole just different crowd of band because DCI was brand new to me. So just kind of grew up in that sense. Realized that, my small town marching band
Absolutely. It's
wasn't the end all be all.
Whole big world type thing. And like seeing all these different people where they're coming from, which by the way, at Spirit at the time, was it a majority of like Atlanta kids or were kids still like coming from all over the place?
I'd say the South in general. But,
for sure.
There's some from Ohio, some from Florida, some from like the Carolinas.
Absolutely.
They're all around.
Yeah. I guess staying on the topic, Nathan, for you as well. What was like one band thing and one life thing you got better at in your rookie year?
I really focused a lot on the visual stuff. Like I think a lot about that now, especially because a lot of what I'm doing now is teaching like visuals. Airplay.
Good job, Grant. Clap it up for Grant in the comments.
We're figuring it out.
Hey, there we go.
Hey, yeah.
But a lot of what I teach now is like,
Band and life thing that you got better at in your rookie year.
yeah. So I learned how to march, and I learned how to teach marching. Was the big thing. 'Cause that's really what I love to do now is working on fundamentals and all that fun jazz.
I feel like I actually understood that like my legs were stiff as shit my rookie year because I thought I had straight legs and then I looked back at it and I was like, I was killing my knees back then. That's something I actually figured out about like that like a straight leg doesn't come from like flexing your quads and like flexing your knee. It actually comes from like the whole movement from like your hip flexor and just that full motion. Like I never understood that
about
concept.
just like anatomy.
Yes.
And just like how the body is designed.
Yes.
Like you are designed to walk forward. That's why you have
and
big
these
toe.
muscles do this and they're meant to be, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Whole big thing there.
That's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'd say life thing. I learned just like how to push through like difficult times. And like knowing that like, yeah, this sucks. It's gonna get better. It's gonna get easier. You're gonna move on to other things. Like I know hitting the wall in like spring training that like everyone hits at some point. I was waiting for the wall. It hit me like late.
The wall hit you late?
It hit me like, what do they say? Like 4 days is when the wall typically hits?
So I think everybody, like, it happens at some point in spring training for, like, I feel like it's like 2 weeks in.
It hit me maybe like 3 weeks in.
Really?
I'd say. I specifically remember one visual rehearsal where we were just doing the same chunk over and over.
Yeah.
Finish it, run back, do it again, do it.
Yeah.
And it was one of those ended like, okay, it's time, go to lunch. Like, stop now, calm down. And I just like broke down. I just like weeped.
What are we doing?
Like,
Why? David,
that was definitely the hardest moment.
David, you look like you had something down there.
Yeah, because I witnessed probably one of those.
Did you witness the wall? Did you witness the wall happen?
So he had just gotten a package of sunscreen from his mom. And it was like
Immediately start crying.
we were doing brass like warm up, and
Yeah.
we were all going to put on sunscreen. Well, Nathan had his brand new bottle, and he couldn't get it to like open, and he was getting more and more frustrated. And at one point, we were all done, and he was still like messing with it. So he threw it down as hard as he could, and just left his shirt on, and just like humped and like was ready.
Like, Nathan, you're gonna get burned. Like, no.
They were like,
I don't care anymore.
Two or three people, they're like, Nathan, do you need sunscreen? I was like, no. I'll get over it.
Oh my God. Question, like staying on the rookie year topic. Who was a vet for both of you guys? Maybe a vet or a staff member or just somebody like a figure that you looked up to in your rookie year? This guy?
This
little guy over here?
He's the reason I'm Marsh Spirit.
This little dude? No, dude, that's you, bro. Okay, what about you, man? Was there like a certain figure, like staff member, vet?
Vet or staff? I'd say Daniel Scott. He was on the brass team, and then he was recently the brass caption head.
Oh, okay.
He's just always been a role model for sure.
Absolutely.
We always mess with each other.
Yes.
He's the moth, I'm the flame.
Wait, why? Had to make that clear. He is the flame.
I'm the flame.
La
Daniel
Flame.
Scott, if you see this, you are the moth.
And if you know, you know. La Flame.
Don't say it's the other way around. It's not.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome, dude. Nathan. Oh wait, you already said that guy over there.
There's some other folks. Like Daniel Scott was definitely a big one.
Yes.
I look up a lot to the youth techs that I had back then. Like Garrett Coscuela was a big one for me.
Yeah.
And being able to work with him. He ended up going to Music City for a couple years, I think, his brass caption head there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Moving on to the 2018 season. David, for you, why do you come back to Spirit of Atlanta in 2018?
All the friends. Definitely like Duncan, like when my first seat partner, like best friend.
Shout out Duncan.
Shout out Duncan. I hope Colorado's nice. A bunch of us were all coming back, and I had this guy tagging along. Yeah. So
convince this little dude over here. Be like, hey, maybe try it out. I guess this is more of a question for David, because Spirit of Atlanta takes a big step up in this year in 2018. Just overall, it seems like, just from watching the videos, obviously I'm not there, but for you, what was the difference, or could you feel a difference of like, this feels like a completely, like, this feels different. Something feels like we're going to take this step this year. Could you ever feel that?
2015, 2016 was a huge transition for Spirit in terms of staff.
Okay.
Chris Moore, like Jason Palmer, the drill designer, you know, they were kind of like 2016 was their inaugural year, and then 2017, and then 2018 you could like to kind of get in their moment. You know, they're working well together, all
hitting
that
their
stuff.
stride.
And then we have brand new visual staff. I think they were really what propelled it.
Who was on Vish staff that summer?
That would be David Fryer.
Kevin Morrison.
Where'd they? I was gonna say, where'd they come from? That name sounds familiar.
Kevin. He marched at Spirit, and then I know he went and taught at Boston. He taught them.
Kevin Morrison?
He was their caption head for the Conquest show.
Okay.
I believe. Which that was 2016?
No, that was Quixotic in 2016. Conquest was 2019. Yeah, because that's the year they did the gladiator uniforms.
No, that was Goliath.
Oh my God, you're so right. So that might have been 20.
It was the one. It was like the night show.
2018?
No, because he was with us in 18. Anyways, he went to Boston. He was at Boston, did Spirit in 2018,
yes.
And now he's at Crown. And he's been at Crown ever
Kevin
since.
Morrison, shout out. Talk about, like you talked about, like people were coming back, vets were coming back. Talk about how important it is for vet retention for these cores who are like in the top 15, top 17, trying to like build their organization and build up to, you know, potentially that final spot. You know, just talk about how huge like vet retention is overall.
Age and experience. I mean, like you look at like Blue Devils, for example.
Yeah.
They usually have a ton of age outs.
Yeah.
The older the average age of the core, usually the better they do. Just kind of how it plays out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, people staying, they're getting older. So
getting into the 2018 season, you guys were seat partners in 2018. Was that just because it was just like college? All the good things, is just like, we're just going to be C partners? Or was it just like, because you had already been there, so you're just like, you know, was that just a guaranteed thing off the bat?
We were best friends at that point. So.
Yeah, it was a no-brainer at that point.
So it's like, yeah, duh, I'm sitting next to you. Yeah. Okay, yeah, we just had to double check on that, see if there was any good story.
He would threaten me all throughout spring training. He's like, I'm going to find a different partner. I was like being annoying.
I watched back the 2018 video. Your drum major, Aiden Lerner, looks like the most happiest guy of all time. Just like so much life in him. Whenever I like see the smile, just him overall, I'm like, this dude looks like the happiest person in the entire world. How was he as a drum major?
Oh, he was good. He was
solid dude.
Drum majors in like 2017 with Philip, and that year we had we had 4 drum majors that season.
Yeah,
they were all amazing dudes, like Ethan, Ben, Kyle.
They came up with their group name was Beak.
Was Beak
for Ben, Ethan, and Kyle.
The Beak group. Shout out Beak.
I remember there's one moment that I was really furious at Aiden, and it was at the encore performance for Atlanta.
Oh.
Because he did this thing where, I think it was Madison that did it a while ago, where held out the last chord and the drum major took a selfie.
Oh,
and he told us, he's like, hey, I'm going to do this for the performance. And I was like, okay, that's cool. Well, we get to the last note of Georgia. We end up holding it for like 30, 40, 50 seconds because his glove is stuck and he can't take it off to take the photo. No. And we're sitting there like, please take it! Everyone's going crazy. He's like, take one with the band, one with the crowd.
Oh my goodness.
But I love Aiden.
So could you feel like right away in like move-ins or season, could you just tell like Spirit of Atlanta in general just takes like this jump? And I know we talked about staff changes and all that and vet retention and people coming back, the group kind of coming into its own. Can you tell by like how rehearsals are happening and like the book or whatever? Like what is it that just feels like we're just taking this thing to another level this year when you actually get into the season of things? If you can recall.
I'd say I couldn't see anything until like the first show.
Yeah.
And then we did really well at the first show, and we ended up like rocking the brass bus.
And you're like, whoa. Because you never saw those results last year. Like, you had never seen anything like that. So seeing that, like, boom, right out the gate, that's insane. That's super cool.
I think I had the feeling that, like, it was going to be special just from the beginning. Not just because, like, I had been following Spirit, but, like, this was, like, the first time I was in, like, a professional group.
Yes.
And it's like, this is, like, these are, like, high-level musicians. And, like, we are all working for the same goal here.
It's kind of like anything where you have, like, a training camp in any sport, and it's kind of like this, too, in drum corps, where, like, you get so used to, like, your own world, and you get used to that standard and whatever, and it always becomes real for me at, like, the very first show. When you step off the bus and you start going to warm-up, and you start hearing everybody else's warm-up, and you start seeing everybody else's lots, and you're just like, oh, everybody.
The moment I see a
been out
contra at a DCI show, I start getting giddy. I'm like, oh, it's real.
We're doing it! We're doing it!
real.
Let's go! Oh, I have to say something. In 2018, you guys did Hurt by Johnny Cash for the ballad. Before us in 2019, dude. What did you think about the backfield ballad? What do you think? Like, what's your opinions on that? Because, like, I feel like some people can be like, oh, it's a really nice ambiance, it's really cool, whatever. Me, on my hand, I'm like, man, I want to hear that shit.
They did it to frame the guard. It was supposed to be a guard moment.
I was going to say, what was that all about?
Well, and like it starts off like behind closed doors.
Yes.
So we were playing behind the closed doors. But yeah, that was like a point of contingency throughout the season of like.
Do we ever turn it around?
Yeah.
Do we ever play this?
I desperately wanted us to open the doors on the last chord.
Oh, I know. I was waiting for it the whole time. Like, when it keeps going into the piece, I'm like, bro, I'm waiting for the hit.
You can barely hear on the recording now, but there is a flow marching video of like us in a lot playing it, and it's so nice.
Oh my god, it sounds beautiful. That's why I just like any backfield ballad ever. I'm like Coats in 17, or Boats, I should say, in 17. Little Boats in 17. They did a backfield ballad that also sounded beautiful, but it was backfield, so when it happens, I'm just like,
But you know what they did? They turned around at the end.
They did it very last show, they turned around. So, you know what? I can't say anything. I can't talk at all. What was it like being in a group that is right on the outside of the bubble, competing for finals? What is the mindset coming from staff throughout the season, especially when you get to San Antonio? Because that's where you stack up against everybody. That is a legit score because you're all together. You know what I'm saying? You're all getting judged by everybody. What's it like when you know, hey, we're on the right on the outside of the bubble here. We have a shot. What's the mindset from like members, staff? What is it? Because it's different from like 17 where you're like, hey, we're trying to put out the best product. What's the vibe?
I feel like score wasn't like the huge focus for us in 18.
I'd say it definitely changed. Like in 19, it was definitely more of like, oh, we got 13th last time. Like in 18, it was just like, oh, we're just happy to be
here.
Yeah.
The mantra we would use is you are standing on the shoulders of those that come before.
Oh, I love that.
And so we're always trying to make a good product for like the alumni and for all people like supporting.
And the people who are coming next.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like make the alumni proud is basically what
that
season was.
Question about 18, since you were both there. We've talked about on this show, I brought on like people from Oregon, and we've had like, I think every Oregon person who comes on, I ask them about the Mall of America story, if they marched in 2016. So I don't know. Do you guys know about the Mall of America story at all? I can give like a quick overbrief. So basically, we're at Weber State early in tour. There was a free day scheduled for us the day after the Weber State show. And this is back when they still did the Minnesota regional. And there was this free day scheduled for the longest time. We didn't have a free day the entire season. Like even we're at this point at Weber State early tour. We still haven't had a free day. We got like one laundry block, you know? So we're like looking forward to this free day. And after the Weber State show, all of our section leaders like text us and they're like, hey guys, like, you know, we got to meet up for a little meeting after the show. We're like, okay, cool, man. Like, what's going on, Tristan? So, like, we all go to our meetings, and all the word is like, hey, so Minnesota Regionals in a couple days. So staff wants to rehearse on the free day. But they said they want you guys to vote on it, on if you want to rehearse or go to the Mall of America for the free day. So there's no punishments. That was the key word. No punishments. No one's getting punished. No one's getting hurt. You can vote however you want. If you want to go to the Mall of America, raise your hand. Everybody in my section raise their hand. And you know, they're like, if you want to rehearse, no one wanted to rehearse on the free day. It was our very first free day of the season. A little bit of time off. And then from there, we just got destroyed the very next day because our brass captain was like, really? You wanted to go to the mall instead of Get Better Day? Like holding horns for like 30 minutes playing G F sharp, like, oh yay. Was there ever any stories like that in 2018? Anything where you're like, damn, like this day sucked?
I don't think there's anything like that in 18. I know there was one in 19.
Well, they stopped. We used to go to Six Flags during spring training.
Really?
But we didn't do that in 18. We didn't do it in 19.
What? That's actually like one of the coolest free days ever.
We need to go to Disney in 18. That was fun.
It's Disney Springs. Yeah.
Oh, whoops.
Oh yeah, no big deal. Just Disney.
Just
you know,
Disney.
most of us just get to go to a mall.
Disney Springs.
Just Disney.
It's still Disney.
Just
I saw the mouse.
Just Disney. It's not even cool.
We ate pizza.
So I guess talking about that, what was your favorite free day from 2018?
Probably San Antonio.
Yeah, that's the only one I remember.
That's a good one. That got old for me at the end, though.
Really?
I'm not gonna lie. It kind of got old for me at the end because I had been there like 4 years in a row.
Well, that's fair.
Even in year 2, because like I don't know, I came back. Can I be honest? I never had the Bill Miller's tea, like the bucket tea. I know.
Come on.
I know, dude. I'm so
I
sorry.
didn't do the tea. I did the
didn't
Dr. Pepper.
Like the bucket.
The bucket of Dr. Pepper.
Oh, because there was always way too long of a line. They would be like, dude, we have to go. We have to get the bucket.
Yeah,
I'd go, and it was just a long ass line. I'm like, I'm not doing this.
It was fun.
I'm not doing it. I
I
know.
don't think you're qualified to do this podcast anymore.
Hey, Grant. Grant, you gotta hop in.
What's up?
They just fired me.
He doesn't like
You
the
guys, you're the new host of the show. You already do the thumbnails. You already know how to do this.
Yeah, I'm just not prepared.
Okay. Well, talking about you guys as sea partners, what did you guys learn about each other as sea partners?
His farts smell like eggs.
Damn, dude, you're nasty, bro.
When he eats Domino's, he farts straight sulfur.
You're nasty, dude.
I found out it was him. Everyone was freaking out, and I looked at him, and he could not hide his excitement. He thought it was so funny.
I have nothing bad to say about my
Beautiful
former sea
Nathan
partner.
Hargis.
Had a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, it was a beautiful summer for David. So
Yes.
yeah,
It didn't.
we see that
reciprocated.
Nathan was suffering. I guess. Yeah.
It's just the one time, but it
And
was,
now we know.
Oh no, it is. You know, like you sometimes carry your horns with you on the bus.
Yeah.
He had a euphonium, so
Oh yeah. Oh dude, I definitely something we didn't talk about. Speaking of that, in 2019, I really pissed off my seat partner Dylan Ryder because third show out in the season at the Rose Bowl. We're pulling up to the lot. This has never happened to me in a season of drum corps ever. We're getting off the bus. Trumpet falls out of my hand, just enough to where the mouthpiece just right on the floor. Stuck for the rest of the season. Like for the rest of the season, to the point where I have to take like the little you know, they always had it on the bus, little bungee cords or whatever they call it. I forgot what they're actually called. But like I had to like take that and put my trumpet on the ceiling of the bus and like take multiple chords and do like this whole like thing. And like Dylan was pissed because there would be some like long nights if we hit like a bump, it right on his head because he had the window seat. Be like, Jeff, you need to fucking fix this. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Now from that, what was like the setup like? What's the setup for the summer? Did someone have to have the window seat? Somebody have to have the aisle seat?
didn't we split?
We had
Did you guys
decided
split?
we were gonna split after I think San Antonio. We were gonna split, but we never did.
you
Yeah,
guys
this
ever-
window.
Do you guys ever have a thing where like I had a seat partner in 17 who was like, I have to sleep on the floor. Like that's the only way I'm gonna make it through a bus ride. Did you ever do that?
No.
I adapted, and
I have
now
self-preservation.
I
I'm
can
not doing
pass
that.
out
No.
anywhere now.
Exactly. That's whole. I just.
Hey,
sat in
that's a
the seat.
skill I learned.
There you go. That's
I learned
one
how to
life thing.
sleep anywhere.
Learned how to fall asleep. Listen,
I was a floor sleeper.
Grant, if you didn't hear that, is a
Grant, big floor sleeper guy.
Van bus, big floor sleeper.
big floor guy. That's awesome. Okay, question for both of you guys. Give the people out there your ideal bus box. Now, for the people who don't know what we're exactly talking about, just fill it in real quick. You know what I'm saying? Because you're on these long bus rides sometimes. Especially for me, I'm doing West Coast tours. When you're coming from the West Coast and you have to go to like a Kansas show, going from Denver to Kansas is like a 12-hour bus ride. You know what I'm saying? You can't just sit there with nothing in your hand or just like nothing. You want something to drink. You want... You want something to eat. You want something to snack on while you're on the road. Grant, I hate you so much. Yeah, you need something to snack on. You can't just sit there with nothing. So everybody kind of just has their own like little bus box situation. Everyone's a little different. Everyone needs a little snack. Everyone's got their own thing. For you guys, what's like the elite bus box?
Oreos and Gushers were always in mind.
Same for me, honestly, too. Oreos and Gushers.
The blue gummy sharks.
The blue gummy
The
sharks.
blue gummy sharks.
That's all you want in your bus box.
I mean, I got some other
else?
things. I'd always get the Little Debbie's. It'd either be like the Nutty Bars.
Yes.
Or the Twisted Rolls. No, what are they called? Not Twisted Rolls.
Twisted Rolls, like Swiss rolls?
Swiss Rolls. Thank
Yes.
you.
Oh, those are fire.
Swiss Rolls, yes.
Very underrated. Very underrated. I figured out from my summer that I needed like Oreos and Nutella. That was gas. Oreos and Nutella was gas. It was gas.
I thought it'd be a smart idea to bring marshmallows, and
He did bring marshmallows.
I ended up with yeah, because I never opened it, so I ended with one marshmallow. Melted together.
Oh my god. Oh my
just
god.
a blob, and I never.
Oh my god.
I think I threw it away at the end of the season. It just like sat in the box. Like
absolutely.
Well, we had one kid, brand new, like he was his rookie year,
Yeah.
Jackson. When he went to get Gatorade, he scanned every single Gatorade bottle, so it
got a
cost
12
like
pack and scanned it 12
upward to like
times.
$70.
What a poor dude. What a poor guy. Oh my god.
He didn't know.
He's like, why is this Gatorade so expensive?
Love
What
Jackson.
is happening right now?
Such a cool dude.
Did you guys at OC, we did in 2016 and 2018, like we had to do Avatar. That was the show of the summer. We had to watch all 3 seasons, starting at episode 1, and it had to be finished by Indy. Did you guys have shows or movies on the bus?
We watched Avatar.
You guys watch Avatar too?
watched Avatar.
Is that like other people with March Drum Corps? Like, is this a universal thing?
It's a good show.
It is. No, I'm not arguing that. I've watched this. I watched
great
it
show.
twice over. But like, I've also heard that from other courses.
Admittedly.
If anyone out there has also watched Avatar on the road, just comment down below. Where you're at.
Admittedly, I had seen Avatar before, but I never watched it fully until Drum Corps.
Exactly. Same. Yeah. Until like until that. I don't know. Yeah. So basically, because Nathan, you don't come back in 2019.
I was working at Holiday World.
You're working out.
He was the color yellow in Roy G.
A theme park in Santa Claus, Indiana called Holiday World, where I was in a strolling band called Roy G. Biv, where we'd waddle around like the Wiggles playing songs.
And then was that the season? Remind me, because you talked about it a little bit in the beginning, but was that the time that you went to Crown for the audition in 19?
It was for the 2020 season.
Oh, it was for the 2020 season.
So I guess it would have been like fall 2019.
Okay, so for 2019 in general for you, it was kind of just like this is not going to work out logistically.
It was me. Drum corps is expensive. I'm gonna earn
Yeah,
money and
not going to
take
happen.
off. Yeah.
So for you, David, what brought you back in 2019? What was the thing that also bringing you back to Spirit of Atlanta of all places?
I got a call from Duncan, we were talking about him before, and Sophia, who was my section leader. Yeah, they called me one time. They're like, you have to come back. Like, you have to. We're keeping the band back together. Like, I think in 2018, I believe, like at some point we had 13 Melphone vets.
Wow.
We had a lot of Melphone vets.
Okay, so is this like a high like vet retention year? Like coming off of last year?
In 2016, there weren't too many vets.
Yeah.
And then 2017 there were more, and then 2018 we just had a ton, and then 2019 I think we had like 40-something vets in the whole
Especially
line.
coming off a year like you guys had in 2018, where it's like we're making the push for top 12, and now coming back in 2019 kind of leads into like what's the message that's getting like put out there in 2019? Is it like we're chasing for that spot, or we're just trying to like we're happy to be here putting out the best product?
I think the vibe in 2019 was definitely like
we're pushing.
we can. It's like right there.
Because you did. Like, the show and the design and everything just takes a whole nother step up. And it's something like I went back and watched, like, 6 a.m. Films. Shout out 6 a.m. Films. They do great lot videos for drum corps. And they did a lot video of you guys in Allentown, brass lot. And just listening to that, the maturity of sound, how it feels like this group overall when you watch the show back, just night and day from 2017. Because, I mean, 2018, you take a step up, staff changed, all the good things. What did staff come back in 19?
We had new Vish staff in 19.
New Vish
Pretty much like the brass staff was pretty consistent the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
Andy Poor, Daniel Scott, Swindle, just a bunch
absolutely.
of people coming back. But yeah, the guard staff was also changing like throughout that time a lot.
Yes.
Mainly like the Vish staff all changed, like every single one of them.
Absolutely.
Pretty much has gone.
I noticed in the video, by the way, in 6 a.m. Films for the Allentown lot, did you guys get a new brass caption head? No? Has it been the same?
That was Roebuck.
Robot? Okay.
Kind of like Jesus.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
that's
very
Roebuck.
long hair, very just majestic dude.
Yeah, that's Roebuck.
Yeah, no, he looks like the coolest dude ever. How was the concept of Neon Underground explained to you guys? Because, like, for me, it feels like there's so many different, like, there's just so many different elements to that show, especially with the uniform change. You have the uniform crossover, which we talked about before. I love that in the beginning, where they take the 2018 uniform, put the new uniform over it. First question of many questions here, I guess. First question for me, being a little nerd. Was there any, like, sense of, like, a trilogy between 2017 and 2019, kind of with that uniform evolving and the shows also going from, like, it was Crossroads, we're here, and then 2018 is Knock Knock, and then 2019 it was at the show called
It's just the one knock.
Just knock.
Knock.
Knock, knock.
Knock Knock. That's what DCI called it. So, you know what? It's called Knock Knock.
I would like you to show me where DCI called it knock knock.
We're going to pull it up after the interview. And DCI, you're out there watching it right now.
I'm the one who knocks.
That was most definitely one of the call outs.
Knock Knock.
18, we go into the door like the end, like they close the door.
Yeah.
And the 2019, it starts off with that color. I remember entering the same color like looking door.
Yes.
On top of that platform, and they go down into the club. That's.
Knock Part 2, Electric Boogaloo.
And it was described as cyber goth.
It's like the B-side
The
of
movie
the
we were
18
going
show.
for. Pretty
In a way?
much, yeah.
Kind of, yeah. I liked it. Because I could kind of pick that up, and I was like, okay, this is really fun. Because it's like, in the matter of 3 years, just the step you guys took up, it was just, it's insane. Where did the decision to like the pit where they were staged and that whole staged, was that like, what was the decision behind that, if you know at all? Do you know at all?
No.
Just for little funsies, like, hey.
Yeah, it was cool.
Nathan knows.
It's because it was cool.
I just had all these questions about
They
watching.
called me and asked me if they could do it, and I said, sure.
Well, those ramps were very like. If you look at the videos, there's like grip tape all over them. That's because we would just slide.
Oh
Especially if they got
God.
wet. They had like towels that if they got wet, they would just.
For that summer, it's so complex compared to like the 2 years before. What were some parts in the show that took like all season to like develop or just like get right?
I would probably say like out of anything that changed the most, it'd probably be the ballad and then probably the closer drill towards the end. But I would say the ballad.
Ballad hit was beautiful, by the way. Like the whole like ballad build up, like starting off with like the flugel soloist.
You know why? Because they faced forward.
Notes for the future. Notes for maybe phase 4. Maybe phase 4 for the ballad. Kind of a similar question to 2018. It's a little different around this time because like in 18, you know, you take this big step up, fighting for like a final spot going into finals week. You're 13th going in, but it's a little bit of like, oh my God, we're here. We've just made this step. Like, this is so cool. Like, we're just kind of reaping the benefits of the work and everything. In 2019, it's a different mindset going in. Even though there's like a gap going into finals week, is the mindset still like, hey, we're pushing to Saturday night? Or
I mean, that was definitely a goal. Like, you know,
Yeah.
you're right there. Like, you want to get the core back in finals.
yeah.
You want to be a part of that. Like, that was a driving force going back for me. It's like, I was so close last time. Like,
Yeah.
I can do this. Like,
It's like we can bring
get
this
there.
group.
But, you know, it didn't happen. But still, great
Rigged.
summer.
DCI rigged. It's okay, I'll say it.
Great summer.
I'll say it for everybody.
Got to spend with a lot of my same buddies.
Who were some people, like staff, membership-wise, that really like impacted that summer for you?
I would say David Kohili. He's one of the directors. Great guy. And at one point, like, something had happened, like, where the food shipment had gotten missed or something, like, it got messed up.
Yeah.
And so we were trying to, like, save bread and everything. And he was like, what would make everything better, like, right now? Like, what's something physical that we can get that would make this, like, better?
Yeah.
And I was like, bread. For PB&J's.
Bread, please.
And at the next meal, they were like, yeah, but there's no bread limit. Like, get as many sandwiches as you want. He went and got, like, just a bunch of bread. So
That's the best thing, dude. That's amazing.
Bread was also part of your bus box. Didn't you buy like
we're done hearing from this guy.
loaf of bread? Buy a loaf of bread.
Before we came
Mute.
back to recording,
Mute.
David had
Mute.
David was like, the gates have been open. David, is there any extra stories you just want to get in on Nathan? 'Cause
Have
Nathan
at
on
it, man.
recording.
Have
Nathan
at
on
it.
recording is open the gates. So if you got any stories,
So we wore hats in 18, right?
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
bowler hats.
Yes.
So
100%.
Nathan was a rookie, rookie being a rookie. He made a rookie
Being a
mistake.
rookie.
Pretty sure his prelims or semis. He left his hat on the bus.
Oh, no
On the bus,
way.
on the truck.
On the truck.
On the equipment
His
truck.
hat on the truck.
Oh.
And so they brought him a hat as soon as we got like down in the tunnel at Lucas Oil.
I'd be sweating, dude.
I was losing
Oh my
mind.
god.
Yeah, they had to bring him his hat. So
Yeah.
he got down there. And
So you're silly, and you forgot it.
I think what ended up
Yeah.
happening is me and a bass drummer ended up switching hats. Like she had grabbed my hat by accident. It was something along those lines.
Yeah, grabbed it by accident. That's a really great story. While we're on the camera, that's a really great excuse.
Good story. Good story.
I had a thing happen my rookie year where like I don't know why, but in 2016 and 2017 on semifinals day because we're not making finals, but semifinals day I would lose a shoe. Like, cause somebody would be in the gym like, yo, I just lost my pair of shoes. Do you see shoes? Like, do you see my shoes anywhere? I was like, no. I go back to my shit and I'd have like my left shoe in a size 12, and then I'd find like a right shoe in a size 10. Like, I had to do that in 16 and 17 on semifinals day. I'm like, my shoes are gone for the very last show. Okay, well, I'm just picking stuff up at this point. Like, I feel you, but how'd you forget your hat?
I don't want to talk about it.
yeah, better let sleeping dogs lie, huh? So.
I plead the fifth.
So last question, just to kind of wrap up for 2019. So obviously 2019, great show, and then obviously we go into COVID, but that's kind of where all of our marching careers end at that point. A little wrap-up question, I guess, for David on your marching career. You did 3 years. What was like the most mentally challenging show year out of the 3 years?
Well, like rookie year was hard because I didn't know what was happening at
Yes.
all. But the 2018 was definitely way easier. The props, like we did prop crew, those doors were not fun.
I look at the show in 2019 and I'm listening to the book and I'm watching like what you guys have to do visually, and that looks like the hardest show where you can't be out. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, and I explained this in other shows, which I'm probably telling on myself because every staff tells you to not go on autopilot mode because you shouldn't do it. I'm going to tell you right now, you shouldn't do it. I did it as a rookie because I was like, yeah, I've done the show a million times. I can just go, and I would coast, and it was great. But like obviously in 2019, I had to be in like every single second. I couldn't miss a second of it. Like every visual responsibility, like every single second. Like it looks like it was that way. Like in 2019, that just looked like start to finish, so hard.
Well, like the props were definitely like harder to finagle. Like that
Yeah.
stage and the ramps were atrocious. But then
Yes.
we also had 3 uniforms we had to keep track of.
Oh my god.
Top, middle, bottom.
Did you start with the
The
2018 one?
It was like
on
a
the
trash
bottom?
bag coat, and then we had that mask.
Yeah.
That definitely
like in the
affected our
opener
vision.
that you
Yeah.
like put away at the end of the opener.
Yeah.
Is that Gotcha.
That was rough because we'd all be running into like a giant vortex together.
I was poor guard.
Yeah.
Throwing rifles like this.
A lot going on in that opener. A lot going on in that show.
Yeah, the show was just like a step up for sure
Yeah.
in terms of especially music. But yeah, like the uniforms were definitely a challenge.
Absolutely. Wrapping up, because we've talked about 2017, talked about 2018, we've talked about 2019. Now sitting here in 2023, what do you guys think about where the activity is going now? Because obviously, we all went into COVID. Things changed for a lot of people. The activity has to take a year off because, the world's exploding around us. Everything happens. Comes back in 2022. It's like, all right, 2023, it's back this season. Feels like it's back in full swing. What do you guys think about, if you guys keep up with it, what do you guys think about the activity right now?
I try to keep up with it with as much as I can.
Yeah.
It's getting so darn expensive.
I agree.
Like,
I
there's
agree. I think we
so
talked about this in
much.
our last episode, and we started to like talk about a little bit of this subject about how it's just like the numbers are getting crazy right now. Like I think we talked about, and there's an account called like DCI Photos who does like they put a little graphic for each group, and they talk about like their tour fees and all of this information on them, and it's crazy nowadays to just see like 5,000, 5,500, like just be a normal number. Because I'm sure for you guys, me too, like when I started, dues were like 3,600. $3,500.
I bought a bass trombone with my tour fees.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying.
I think price is going to be the talk of the next few years, especially with what's going on with like the current state of corps. That news came out recently, so I think price is going to be the next.
Like for example, at the time of the recording of the last episode, we had learned like 2 groups in 1 week. Like Southwind went down. They closed up shop permanently. It wasn't even like we're taking the season off. It's we have to close operations completely. And unfortunately for the cadets as well, not the same situation completely, but having to take an entire summer off. We saw this last summer with Santa Clara. I think they even did it in 2021 as well. They've been they got in 2022, did 20, or they took off 21. It's just like we're seeing multiple groups that this is happening to. I don't know. There was a little like mention about it in the last episode that they were like, what if they put like a cap limit on it? Like they can never go above this in membership fees. I guess what do you guys think about it?
My thought is I love how corps are starting to put now about like the budgeting they're putting out for the year.
Yeah.
I think there needs to be a cap on like how much you can spend on things, because I think like all of the money is going for these big extravagant props, new uniforms every year, like all the sound equipment, all this, and spending so much money on that makes it like you don't have any money now for like housing, for food, for gas, for all these things.
Yeah,
it makes it really difficult.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
That being said, the shows are a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I like watching some of the new shows, but it is getting a little much.
Yeah.
Price is going to just be the driving cause. I'm sure DCI is aware of it. I'm sure they're looking for other things. Because, like, people that marched before, they had like a summer A, summer B. They just had kind of different tours. And I think maybe the tours could change a little bit. And I don't know what that would look like, but they could maybe start looking for more regional things.
Yeah. I think that'd be cool, honestly, to like where every group is kind of based out of, to just have their own like regional type of schedule, something like that. So it's not like a West Coast group like BD, even though they got the financials, have to start all the way out in California, and all the groups that start out in California, Pacific Crest, everybody out there has to start in California and make their way all through the Northwest and then down through the Midwest and to the South. Like it is a grueling, long tour schedule that has, a lot of money, like we were talking about, and it's a lot. It's a lot to take care of. So DCI just got a new CEO, Nathan Boudreau, just hopped on, 4th ever CEO of DCI. Very interesting situation since 1972. 4th ever. If there was one thing that you would want to like ask the new CEO, whether it be something about the future or like what he sees, what do we think?
Should Inferno of one.
Should Inferno of one.
I know we were talking about this before the podcast started. I would love to see what got him interested in wanting to take over DCI.
Yeah.
And like how that process came about.
It's very interesting because the profile, doing a little deep dive, do a little investigative research. Yeah, no like band background. So I'm very interested to see where we go from here. Could be hearing soon. You never know. Nathan, I'm going on you here. I'm selling on you. What was your inspiration to teach band?
It was my high school band teacher, Perry Elliott.
Yeah.
The last thing I wanted to be was a teacher. Like when I graduated high school, I was like, no, I don't want to teach. My mom was a teacher, love her to death. I don't want to be a teacher. I just want to play music. And I go to MTSU, I do trombone performance, and my last semester, like I had done some like tech stuff, like after Marching Spirit, I worked with some bands in Middle Tennessee, and going into my last year, Perry Elliott called me to go teach at my old high school, Elizabethton High School, Go Cyclones. He had me come in and teach band camp and basically like redo the whole visual program because he was planning on retiring that year. And they had been a very traditional marching band. This was said, like toes and heels together, and they were very rigid on everything. And he knew that whoever was going to come in next was going to modernize it. Yeah. And he thought, bring someone in who knows the program and knows more about what technique is used today. Yeah. And come in and rewrite it. So I did that. And halfway through, he pulls me in and he's like, hey, I want you to like work for this group. And that was like the moment. Like I'd had teachers tell me like, you need to be a band director. And it's always like, I want
I know.
I want to play the trombone, come on. But finally it was him telling me that. It was like, that finally got the gears turning. It's like, maybe I could do this. Maybe I'm enjoying this. I realized like, I love this. Yeah. Because the kids were like, they were attentive. They were excited about it. It was during COVID, so it was still spaced out, but like it was so much fun.
Yeah.
And then after I graduated, I moved back home and I got to work with them and the new band director, Jonathan Valentine, and got to work with them for a full year.
Yeah.
And that solidified it for me. It's like I'm gonna do this.
I guess to follow up with that, there's like rewards that you get from marching. You feel like at the end of the season, you get through a season. You don't know when you're in it until after you start reaping like all these rewards and benefits that come from doing a season, and you start to learn all these things about you as a person. You start you just see the progression of yourself through life and through everybody else. Talk about, on the marching side, we've talked about the benefits and all of the rewards that come from it. Talk about on the teacher side, what is oh my God, this is
I think it's changed my worldview and my plan for the future.
Yeah.
Because going throughout college, I always said my plan is to make music.
Yes.
And I want to perform. Mm-hmm. And then adding teaching to that, I've realized I'm still making music. I'm just sharing it with others. And I'm making music with more people. I get to share that love. And that has been really rewarding.
That's
being able to see whenever kids are excited about it and they want to keep pursuing it and they want to get better. That is so rewarding as a teacher. Just to know that I'm instilling something in them.
That's amazing, dude. That's awesome. So just to wrap out with a couple questions here, is there anything that you miss about the activity?
Playing the horn line. Just doing that, being part of that, and all the goofy jokes that came about.
Yeah.
I think the feeling of being in a high level group of people that want to be there.
Yes.
I think that's the big difference between drum corps and high school or college band. Is with the college band, it's you got people who want to be there, but it's also music ed majors who have to be there and they're slogging through it.
Yeah.
And same with high school, it's my parents made me do this and I'm just here to not be in gym and things like that.
Yeah.
But being in drum corps, it's everyone wants to be. You're paying to be there. You are committed.
Thousands of dollars.
And they don't just take anybody. It is a rigorous audition process. People have trained to be there, and that is so much fun.
Last question for both of you, which I've asked every person so far, especially when they age out. What has this activity meant to you guys and just who you are today, who it's made you from the activity? What has this activity meant to you guys?
Well, I always knew that I wanted to be in drum corps. Ever since I learned about it, it's I gotta do it.
Yeah.
But actually getting to be a part of it, especially with Spirit, drum corps is a family to me now. Yeah. It's somewhere I can always connect with people so easily. You never lose them.
Yeah.
And even though we live far apart, this is still my best friend. Hey, he said it.
Stinky little.
Don't get mad at me.
David, what about you?
I made great friends all across the country. Yeah. Something to look back on fondly and look forward to. I look back at, usually did throughout college, I look back at that and I think about what I would have done without it, and it kind of seems a little boring without it in there. Yeah. Wouldn't change it for the world, and I'm glad I did with this guy at least
this
one
stinky
time.
Little dude.
Yeah.
These two stinky little dudes over here. And with that, that's going to be a wrap for this episode. This was episode 8 of the Meet the Bus podcast. This has been episode 8. This was a really fun episode, a really chaotic episode. Setting up, recording, thought we were recording, we're not recording. Yes, this has been episode 8 of the Meet the Bus podcast. Thank you guys for taking the time this afternoon. David had a little travel down here. I just thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your afternoon. It's a Sunday. You're taking the time out of your Sunday afternoon to do this episode.
It's a fun time.
It means the world. I love you guys.
Pleasure to see you in the flesh.
Pleasure to see you, sir. David, stinky little dude.
Excited to get that check in the mail.
Royalties coming soon. All right, this has been episode 8 of the Meet the Bus podcast. We will see you next week. See you guys.
If you're listening to this, Jeff isn't going to pay us for this.